Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we're taking a look through another batch of vintage Pelican paperbacks. These ones just post-war 1946, giving them a really thorough clean and tidying them up as best we can. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so starting off with this one, which is A159. Land of the Soviets. And let's just check the date on this. So it's 1946. You can see the paper quality is still quite thin. You can almost look right through it. Because right up until really about 1948, 1949, most British publishers were still struggling with paper rationing in a more reserved way, shall we say. It wasn't as bad as during the war, but most publishers still suffered a little bit. Penguin and consequently Pelican were in a much better position than most publishers because their pre-war output was so massive. Their wartime and post-war paper allocation was also really high, which meant that they were able to keep producing the books, albeit in slightly reduced quality, but they did keep the books coming. Now, as we go through these, I'll be double checking to see if any of them need upgrading. Certainly there's going to be some, and I am resolved to try and upgrade some of my worst Pelicans over the next few months. I've got to admit, in the catalogues that a tiny bit of glue in at the bottom of the spine, in the catalogues that I generally get, one dealer generally does a catalogue in January, and there hasn't actually been one this January. So I've not filled in any real Penguin gaps per se. But when he does do those catalogues, he tends to have, like the Pelicans, all up between, well, £1 and £3 a pop. So not really expensive. Some of them are a little bit dearer, but most are very, very cheap. Now this one here, 162, has got like a shiny cover on it. It's definitely different quality to the other ones. I can't polish it still. It's still like a matte-ish cover, but the pages turned over there. Yeah, local government in England and Wales. You see, it's like a darker blue as well. It feels almost like a little bit waxy. Very unusual, that one. English letters of the 18th century. Okay. 163. I think of this particular, I think between numbers 100 and 200, I'm missing maybe one or two odd Pelicans. I haven't quite got the full run that I'm chasing, which is like the first 600. I need possibly about 8, I think, in total. And I probably need, I reckon, 20 upgrades at the moment as it stands. So not too bad. But as I said, I don't generally, because these aren't, I love the Pelicans, don't get me wrong, but they're not the sort of books I would be going back to time and time again. So I don't really want to spend a fortune putting a library together. And all the ones that I've got here have come my way very, very cheaply, in all honesty. There we are. Now, see, this is actually the same book. So it's, 18th century and 19th century. So it's like consecutive volumes. So it's there are different numbers, but they're like a 2-volume part on that one. Personality of Man. That seems quite a nice copy. Yeah, 1946 this one. Much better quality of book there. No signs of rationing there. So maybe we are actually over it by 46. Certainly something like this, you would consider it quite lavish for its day. But that never stopped Penguin. They would always push the boundaries. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're still not quite A1, But that's quite a thick one there, and it's got the double volume there, the two pelicans looking at each other. William Temple and His Message. And that's just one of their religious titles. That's fine. So not a lot of work to do so far. Yeah, I remember this one. This is a real favourite of mine, the Pyramids of Egypt. I remember getting this one quite early on in my penguin collecting career. I like books on Egyptology. Obviously there's been many great books published since then on the subject, but quite nice to see that early Pelican one. John, Citizen and the Law. Another big one here. Okay. I think we'll do the brush down on these at the end. We'll have the look through first of all, because it's likely to get very dusty in here. Science and Nation. The Bleak Age. Yeah, pelicans were very much what Alan Lane envisaged them to be, which was the popular educator, I think is how he described them. A short history of English drama. And this one's, oh look at that, I was just going to say the spine's coming away, and there we are. But the book has completely come away, so what we'll do, it's an easy fix. Look at the mess that makes, look at the original sort of glue binding there. Of course, you find with such a big publisher as Penguin that they didn't all use the same printer. So some of them would use one particular printer, another one would use another, and there isn't, during this sort of time, there isn't a lot of conformity, so you do get all sorts of weird and wonderful variations, and certain printers use different glues and that. So I think that's possibly why some books fare better than others. I think that's absolutely fine on that one. And I'm just going to put a run down here as well. Just a bit. That should be all right. So I've got this one brand new Pritt stick. I've still got quite a bit to use in the other one, but it's sort of been gouged out with my screwdriver, so I've got two on the go at the moment. Now, let's get this the correct height first of all, then we can squeeze it in, and there's no doubt going to be a bit squeezed out the top. There we are. Just a smidgen. There we are. So, short history of English drama is repaired. That's absolutely fine, because the book itself's nothing wrong with it at all. Let's move that pile around there. So another pile here. The World's Wealth. And this has got some corners bent over. How dare it? Oh, they're very brittle. This one's actually been stored in a, historically it's been stored in quite a dry environment. It looks like it's caused some browning and brittleness to the paper, but I think we've got it there, just about. Yeah, not so supple, the paper on that one. I think over time it'll be alright, with some other books next to it, weighting it down. The Population of Britain, 174. (1947). Now these are always great Pelican books, these. Bird Recognition, Volume 1. And that's got a ruler on the back in inches. Very, very cool. What a thoughtful book that is. Look at that. So that's volume 1 of that one. And volume 2 here, which looks like it's published much later. Same format, same author. Yeah, 1951. So that was 47, that one there. This is the right number, 176. It's the next one consecutively, and it's the first printing, but evidently there was a delay in getting volumes 2 and also volume 3, getting those published. So the number was reserved in the Penguin publishing schedule, and when the books are ready, they evidently got released. But it was several years. 1955, this one. There we are. Beautiful edition. Those two there are really, really nice copies of those, Now this one I'm very, very, in fact I will, straight off the bat, because it's got such a damaged spine, it really stands out. So Pelican 178, The Inventor and His World. H. Stafford Hatfield, I'm going to put on my upgrade list, because it's a little bit the worse for wear, this one. 1948, so back to in the normal run again now. But it'll be very easy to get a replacement copy. Genetics. Another great one here, More Common Wildflowers. Really like their nature ones. Look at them. Fantastic, aren't they? Really, really great. Man the Unknown, Alexis Carrel. Russian art. An illustrated one. (1949) now. British Herbs. Another gorgeous one here. Lovely, lovely book. A little 25p in there, which we'll get out. J, 25p. There we are. Yeah, British herbs, very nice. The Irish. A little book here, 140 pages. Look at this, look. This is another one. Yeah, it must have been, at least I'm guessing, it was the same printers, you know. But we can rebuild it, as we saw just now. Let's put some on the, just give it a brush. Bit of targeted glue down the spine here. That should be fine. And the same again, it's less dirty, this one. It is literally, there's just not enough glue being put on. And it just hasn't survived the 70 odd years, almost 80 years in fact, that it's been in existence, this one. But thankfully we can fix that. So the height is the main bit to get right. Fine, lovely. Geology and scenery in England and Wales. That's okay. Now this one's going to go on the wants upgrade list rather. A186. Scientist in Russia, simply because it's got a really, really worn spine. It's quite foxed as well. Yeah, not in the greatest of shape, that one. A little 10p inside, which I will take out for now. But yeah, that needs a better copy of that one. There we are, that's fine. But yeah, upgrade required on that. Now this one here, Animals Without Backbones, is actually in a wrapper. So we take the wrapper off for now. The wrapper is not in bad nick, but it has got, it's faded down the spine there. Let's look at the book itself. Yeah, the book's alright. 1951. Tend to do is sometimes get like a little layer of dust come in underneath the dust wrapper, so by just going over that, anything that might have been on there is brushed off. There we are. So I imagine, certainly with the main series, a lot of the double volumes did come out in dust wrappers. It just made them slightly more special, if you know what I mean. And we have the second volume of this, which is exactly the same. So also in a dust wrapper. This one's slightly worse condition than the first volume. Nice book though. Very, very nice. Yeah, definitely some tanning and stuff on it. It's been aged somehow. But generally speaking, it's absolutely fine for me. So I'm not going to look to upgrade this at all. Unless one was to come my way in a collection. Yeah. Good stuff. Alright, cracking on here. A189, The Life of Jesus. Another one of their religious titles. Early Victorian novelists, 190. Africa Emergent. Yeah, a little bit. Is it going to come away? Yeah, not quite all of it. So I need to just get my screwdriver in there. Because the whole thing's not bad. It's just this top section. So I can slide some glue in there rather than pull the whole thing off. And this will keep it in place. Alright. That got it. That got it. Greek science. 2. Okay. Size of the universe. $48. Psychology of Sex. Steady on. That's fine. Music Ho. It's quite stiff. No suppleness left in this one. It's stiff as a board. Look at that. Oh. Yeah. A flat, unread copy by the look of it. The Romans. PBO. A lot of the Pelicans were written for the series exclusively. Bit grubby that one, but we'll let it pass. England in the 19th century. Before philosophy. So I'm not sure if you're up to date on the videos at all, but hopefully you've seen some of the more recent ones where I've finally been bagging some paperbacks. Very, very enjoyable process, I have to say. And they look fantastic when they're done. And they do give that extra level of protection, certainly on the older books. So the next video I have to film after this, in fact, is where I'm going to attempt to bag up my complete Collins White Circle collection. And that contains a lot of classic 30s and 40s crime titles, which will be really nice. And I think they'll look fantastic when they're bagged up. So I haven't got that many. I don't know how many in total, maybe about 150, something like that, to 150 to 200. So I'm going to do the whole lot in one foul swoop, and I think that video will be looking good. So it's going to be on my main channel, and then I'm going to be doing another bagging video. Haven't decided what yet on this channel, so I'll sort of intermix them a little bit. So I'll put another series or two and get them all bagged up as well over here. Right. The Aztecs of Mexico. You may detect a slight hoarseness in my voice. I'm just getting over a cold. Had it for about a week. It really knocked me out. In fact, a bit longer than a week, in fact. But I'm almost back to A1. That's a really nice book, that one, isn't it? That is gorgeous. What's that there? That is a gorgeous book, that, isn't it? Very, very nice. Move that over there. Pottery and ceramics. Well, I've been enjoying the Great Pottery Showdown, or Slam Down, whatever it's called, on Channel 4. It's good fun, that. Never really tried pottery since I was at school. But after watching that, I'm tempted. This is another one. Got some very brittle corners here, which need saving, but I don't know if they can be saved. And if you are up to date on these, I'll make you aware that this goes out as I record this next Saturday on the Tuesday, so this will be released by the time you listen or watch this one. I did have an appearance on the She Done It crime podcast, which is a dedicated classic crime podcast. It's it's very well produced podcast on classic crime in general. I'm on there talking about classic penguin crime from the 1930s and 40s. So if you want to catch that one, I'll pop a link in all my usual places on my social media, but it's called She Done It, and it is going to be distributed on BBC Sounds as well, which is cool. It gets about 60,000 downloads per episode, so I would expect I'll end up getting a little influx of new viewers to the channel on the back of it, I would imagine. I hope. And people enjoy what they hear. The Symphony. I just noticed the Aztecs of Mexico, that one was Pelican number 200, which is maybe why it looks so blimmin' lovely. Now here's another one, Prehistoric India. It's also in a dust wrapper. I said, when books come in dust wrappers, I'm not massively like, I have to have it if it came in a dust wrapper, particularly with the main penguins, because they're so, the dust wrappers are really expensive on the crime ones, for example. But if I've got a book and the dust wrapper is quite nice, like this one is, and I'll try and keep them together. New Frontiers of the Mind. Now, just trying to think what we've got coming ahead. I think we've got a regular penguin video, and Pan, a bagging video, and then we'll be on to the next batch of pelicans, I reckon. I think that's the sort of 5-week rotation we've got at the moment going on. My hardbacks, I have finished the main fiction now. So we're on to some autobiographies and biographies, which may be the final, pretty much the final hardback video for now. Got some in the loft with some other authors that I haven't really sorted out yet, like later Kingsley Amis and things like that. So I'll get to those in time. Principles of Shakespearean Production. Wow. Meaning and Purpose. This one's a little bit scruffy, isn't it? What's it like inside? $1950. It's a little bit borderline, that one, but I'm going to let it go. It's not the end of the world dirtiness, but it's not great. Right, Tudor England. I said it's not like I want perfection with these. I'm just happy to have a copy, ultimately, you know. The Meaning of Art. Their art books in Pelican are great. Really nice. Alright, this one's got some... I'm not sure if this is miscut or just folded over. I know it's miscut. Look at that. So we have to leave that as is. Sailing, a little illustration on the front. This was starting to creep in on the Penguin list. So what Penguin did first, Pelican would inevitably follow. And that would include like a little vignette on the front there. The Welsh. So in 1950, these are now, so 74 years old as we film these. Beethoven. So when you consider the condition of some of these, they're absolutely fine, aren't they? Justinian and his age. The Child at School. A writer's notes on his trade. C.E. Montague, Charles Montague. The Greeks, a bit of a foxy one here, fox front. I think some of these are a bit more susceptible than others, for whatever reason. Economics of everyday life. Very, very dusty, some of these. Look at the tops. I don't know if I should be brushing them in here with my slight cold. I'm gonna be coughing, but we'll see. Times like this, you wish I had a mask, or I wish I had a mask. Uncommon Wildflowers. But yeah, this is another gorgeous one. Yeah, look at this. The quality of these particular books is outstanding. I mean, I know you could get, at this point, you could get the Observer books and the other nature books published by Frederick Warne, but, you know, these were very, very good and much cheaper than those. 2 and 6, that was a lot of book for that back then. And the last one, Atomic Energy. There we are. So we made it with my voice just about holding out. Right, I'm going to take a short break, get myself a drink, and then we'll be back to do the brushing. Right then, let us power through and get the brushing done. Hopefully without choking myself. But the weather is far too horrible to do this outside, I'm afraid. Right, that's the first pile done. So much dust coming off some of these. It's a mucky old process, as you can see. Lovely, that's the second pile done. Now I have sort of put it off a bit, but I do need to go through another quite mundane penguin series. Well, it's two really. It's New Biology and Science News, which have got some good stuff in them, so don't get me wrong, but they're a little bit dry perhaps for the regular viewer, but they're part of my penguin collection, so I do need to give them a clean at some point, you know. So I'll probably end up doing those as a one-off episode when I'm looking for something a bit different to do. And I actually store them near these pelicans, you know, so they're sort of in the same neck of the woods, as it were, which I'm working my way through recently. There we are, that's the third pile. On to the last little pile now. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I know the Pelican videos are, you know, pretty popular, and certainly the books look very, very nice, don't they? And at least now they look better than they did. I don't think that would be too difficult, to be honest. As usual, don't forget, if you have enjoyed it, do please give the video a little thumbs up to say you've enjoyed it. It does help. And if you haven't already, do please subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing. Literally, it's free. But it does help the channel grow. Recently had people come in. One chap in particular said, just found your channel. I'm going right back to the very first video and watching them all during the day. He says it helps him when he's at work and that, so fantastic. Thank you very much for that. There is good stuff there if you do work your way back through it, so if you do, good luck. And don't forget to look out for that podcast, which should be on this. It should already be out by the time you hear this. Thanks very much for watching today, and I shall see you again soon. Bye.